Welcome
to Smash Writing. I am your host, Paul.
What the hell's that?
Just because I can.
That's what you look like, the woman from the hip-hop teacher from Bob's Burgers. That's what you got going on right now.
And this is, of course, Justin.
They know at this point. They don't need to know my name anymore.
Wow, today's episode
Hopefully you know. Subscribe and like. Comment below. Comment below.
Today we are talking about
Tell Paul how bad he is with his choices. This is a pretty bad list.
Oh my god. Today we are talking about horror franchise that we want to see continue.
Whether it be reboot, sequel, no prequel. No prequel.
Yeah, I'm not.
Prequels don't work.
Not in horror films.
Not really. They always.
Because those are the first films.
Yeah, all you go back and you create plot holes and you stamp on what you made.
And make stupid timelines and everything like that. No. But here's our top 5. I'll go first because, I mean, you got at least praise me on this one.
Yeah, this one's a good choice.
We got to continue the story of Child's Play, the reboot one.
The remake, the 2019 one, I believe.
Yeah. Ironically enough, the series from the original is on Sci-Fi and USA right now.
That's coming out soon. Oh no.
It is out by the time.
Yeah, by the time this recording will be, it will be. I'm not looking forward to it.
This is why it's number 5, because the whole voodoo thing from the original series was a good touch for the timeline that it was in, but it ran its course.
I think they could still do the voodoo thing, but they haven't done it well.
Yeah.
You didn't need voodoo for dummies.
But when Child's Play came out, they had Mark Hamill playing the voice of Chucky. They introduced a new aspect of the character with making it artificial intelligence and
with it being hacked into, with it being compatible with everything, you can use more.
Yeah.
That was a really cool twist to play off of it.
Obviously, it did well enough to do a sequel, and I want the sequel because I want to see what he can do next. I know the fan base probably brought back the original Chucky, and that's why you got that TV show. But that film didn't deserve as much bashing as it
No, it didn't. It deserved better. Because it was better for, like, the amount of shit remakes get. This was a really great one.
Yeah, this was definitely, because I believe this was the same year that Pet Sematary came out as well.
Yeah.
And
I think they were really close together. The Pet Sematary one was ambitious.
They went out on a limb, but this one did everything right for making rebooting the series, rebooting, whatever you want to call it. It did everything right to deserve a sequel, and I want to see a sequel. I really do. Will we get one? I'm not sure at this point if we ever will.
I think it might depend on how well the series does.
Actually, how well not the series does.
Whatever.
Because if it fails, then you can say, hey, we got that reboot in the work. We can do a sequel now because it did everything right for what a reboot should do. So I definitely want to see the franchise continue in the reboot direction with, part 2 of that film. Not, I'm going to watch the Chucky series and see what that's about and everything else like that. But give this film a sequel. Continue this part of the franchise. That's my number 5.
With us recording this in the future or the past,
it's time travel.
Yeah. Let's see if past Justin was smart enough to remember to DVR it. Because I don't give him. I don't think he'll do it. I think I'll forget.
Is it the 12th or the 16th that it comes out?
I think I'll forget.
He will, even if I send him 8 texts. Hey.
He could text me the day of and I'll still forget.
10 minutes before the show comes on, turn it on Sci-Fi or USA, it's on. He'll respond 40 minutes later.
What?
But that's my number 5. Let's go with your number 5.
My number 5, one second.
Are you seeing when it comes out?
October 12th, yeah.
Okay. Confident. This video's 2 weeks after that.
We do good with timing, what can I say?
You're right.
My number 5 is Hellraiser. Now, I don't like the fact that Halloween did it, but it's done. And so many other horror films have fucked with their timelines. Do the same with Hellraiser. Get away from all the sequels. Go back to basics. Go back to what you do. Even if you have to bring back Christie. Bring back Christie. But this series, if you really want to continue doing Pinhead and the Cenobites, you gotta go back to basics.
How far do you, like, you just want to go from, you want to ignore Hellbound?
Maybe not Hellbound, because Hellbound you can still work with. But just, like, throw away the sequels. Go back to basics, go back to what it was, and work from there. So I think that's the only way you'll be able to bring back Hellraiser. But Hellraiser should be one that comes back.
I think I honestly stopped watching Hellraiser after 3.
I tried
to watch them, but I just...
Hellroll was bad. Really bad. I tried watching Inferno, I didn't make it.
The last one I watched was the statue. Was that 3? Like, he was the club owner. The club owner had the statue, and he had to bring them bodies.
It might have been.
Okay, that's the last one I
can't
watched.
Remember. I watched the Netflix one. The Netflix one is not bad. It's pretty good.
Which one? What was that called? Was it Revelations?
It might have been Revelation.
Okay. I would like to. Yeah, I mean.
Go back to basic.
Yeah, sometimes. Now, would you ever consider continuing the franchise by rebooting it, or do you want to?
I don't think you need a reboot.
Okay.
Just think, like, as menacing as Pinhead is not very mobile. He's not really moving around a lot because he doesn't have to. So you could still bring back the guy and do it.
Doug Bradley.
Doug Bradley could still play Pinhead.
With the cosmetics and stuff like that,
yeah.
you won't see his age. And like I said, yeah, he's not a super fast character, so you don't have to him.
I don't know much about Doug Bradley. I mean, if he's in a wheelchair, obviously, no.
Right.
But recasting Pinhead will be hard, not impossible.
Well, didn't they have recast?
Yeah, wasn't Doug in the reboot in the Netflix one.
Okay. There's something about, I think there was like some copyrights that they had to produce one, or one studio was going to lose it or something.
That's probably why we have so many of those.
That is true. My number 4 is of course Friday the 13th, but unlike doing what Halloween did, I always wanted to see the sequel for Friday the 13th, 2009. I
just want to see Derek Mears play Jason again.
Yes. I had no problem with him. I thought he was a good modern day person for the fact that he looks creepier than Jason himself. Was like a natural fit to be this character with a hockey mask. The movie did good both in sense of money and doing this of basically cramming 4 films into one. You've seen part 1 in the opening credits. You've seen 2...
Sackhead Jason
in 2. There, you've seen the fast-paced Jason in 3 and 4. All in this film. So this series got off to a good start. Now, we know why this franchise is on ice right now.
In the beginning, I think it'll never come off of ice.
And that's the sad part, is like... You talk about reboots and remakes that are good, that could handle themselves. This was one of them, and I want to see the franchise continue with this story. Now, if the situation ever clears up where they can give us another film, I do feel like they will probably give us a reboot. But I
don't think you need a reboot or anything. Just, we know what this is about. Big, crazed guy killing campers. Just do that. The formula does not need changed, really.
And this one actually had like a decent story out of the Jason films, too, because...
The Jared Padalecki.
Yeah,
Jared Padalecki.
He was trying to find his sister.
He was really good.
Yeah.
In this movie. Padalecki was really good choice.
I love him going up against the I forgot his name. I've seen him in a couple movies. The rich spoiled brat that owns the family owns a cabin, and he's like
Troy or Trevor, something like that.
Yeah, he's like, you don't want to, like, what was the one line? He's like,
you don't want to mess with me.
You don't want to mess with.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, he's like, you don't want to mess with me and see what happens next. So yeah, what happens next? Like, it had a good one-liners. Him screaming when it had.
I loved his death when he just got slammed on the tow truck, and the tow truck drove off with him.
Because the guy was like, I ain't stopping.
Nope, I'm out.
The film did deliver us everything we wanted in a Jason film. Before they reboot again, they have to give us a sequel to this one. This is what I want. I want Friday the 13th Part 2 with the story finishing up. And if it fails, then okay, then you reboot it in like 6-7 years. But give me a sequel to continue the franchise.
You don't need a sequel. We know what Jason is at this point. Just make the movie and run.
But that's my number 4.
My number 4, you can argue whether or not it's a horror movie or not. I'm claiming it is. I'm going to keep it here.
Horror comedy is part of the horror genre.
Todd Thomas was not horror comedy.
That's what they considered it.
They're wrong.
But go on.
Mine is Odd Thomas. As much as I love Yelchin, and I wish he could be here to continue because he was so good as Odd. There's just too much of the Odd world. Like, you gotta keep it going. Like, you're just scratching the surface. We could go further. We need more Odd Thomas in this world. And the fact that he's unlike...
Now, would you do a sequel or a reboot with it?
Well, you're gonna have to reboot it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Without Anton around, you're gonna have to
I think
reboot.
the cast, the fan base, wouldn't want a replacement actor.
Yeah.
Because then you would, a reboot would at least establish.
You could move to the next one, Odd Forever, I think it was. I think Odd Forever was the second one, and Brother Odd was the third one. But, and you could run with like a new Odd for a sequel, but it would be a really weird step because you're replacing Antoine.
When we reviewed the film, I started to appreciate it more. I heard about it, seen clips of it, wasn't a fan until I actually got to watch it all. So I would love to see something like that continue. It would have to be a reboot, obviously. But yeah, understand why they have to. In this case, a sequel just wouldn't be a natural fit with the situation.
Yeah.
I think any role with him being in it, you'd almost have to go through a reboot rather than a recast because that situation was tough.
The thing with Odd is he's unlike any character you see in the horror world. He deals with this ugly stuff, but he deals with it with grace, dignity. He keeps his head up, and he always remains a nice guy. He's the nice guy in an ugly world.
My number 3 is I would like to...
See, I still think this is weird, because we just seen it.
I feel like so I'm talking about the Candyman franchise, and I would like to see a true 4th film.
We did. It's the remake. That's the 4th film.
The 4th film? It's not a remake, though.
Yeah, it's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
But yeah, they brought back Robitaille at the end. So I don't know what you're asking for here.
Well, to my understanding, the point is they're making the Candyman a myth rather than Daniel.
Yeah.
So they do another one. It's not going to be... They want to go away from probably Todd because obviously age and all that. We see de-aging process in films.
Well, you don't need de-aging.
I just want to go back to the basics of Candyman. Go back to the original series. I loved part 1 and 2, obviously. 3 was, which also is, now they can make jokes as the storyline. They're concurrent. But 3 kind of hurt the series, obviously, where they brought back a spiritual sequel, as they like to call it. I want to see more of Daniel Robitaille. The whole Tony Todd casting, once again, like how you brought up Doug Bradley with Hellraiser, he doesn't have to go super fast and do stuff. His kills are often slow and more haunting and stuff like that. He doesn't come up on you and start fist fighting. So they can get away with giving us a sequel that has the Daniel Robitaille story. Will they? No, they're going to go into this side of making the Candyman as a comic book character where it's a mantle. Daniel was the first one, but now there are others. And I'm not complaining against that. I would just prefer to see more of Daniel Robitaille. That's what I want. That's why I would want the franchise to go in that direction. But it's going to go in a different direction, and I hope it's good. I hope there are stories they can touch upon. I don't even disagree with the mantle Candyman. I just want to see more of Daniel Robitaille because those stories were good. And I don't like how 3 really did justice for the franchise. But that's my number 3. I knew you were going to pick this one.
Well, yeah, because we've done this list before. I'm telling you, we've done this list before. My number 3 is The Wishmaster. I want to see Andrew Divoff back. Bring back Andrew. He wants to do it. Please get rid of 3 and 4. Just, I need a sequel, because 4 cannot be the last time we see the Djinn. Bring back Divoff and have fun. Please get rid of 3 and 4 from my memory.
I don't think they're going to go away. You're kind of stuck with them.
Just one was great. He was so much fun. Divoff, in his human form,
Probably
was scarier than him in